I just published a Substack post on how one of liberalism's weaknesses is its lack of a coherent aesthetic. I'll try to summarize it here. So, communism and fascism drew a lot of power from mythic reconstructions of history and society. Liberalism, by contrast, is more procedural, and it kind of reduces identity and aesthetics to private tastes and a matter of consumerism. Fascism, as Walter Benjamin noted, aestheticized politics. It promised beauty, discipline, transcendence, and this served to justify hierarchies of purity and exclusion, while also inventing a mythic golden past to unify the polity. Communism, as Boris Goroy's argued, became an aesthetic project of its own. Stalinist socialist realism exalted the worker and peasant within a utopian symbolic order, and liberalism just offers no such aesthetic, symbolic grammar, or identity. It defines rules of competition and participation, but it doesn't kind of offer this vision of a shared destiny. John Rawls framed the aim of liberalism as enabling heterogeneous groups to live together under fair procedures, provided their values were not unreasonable. Democracies, they're pluralistic, each group has its own symbols, and so to unify all citizens under one image or aesthetic would kind of betray the constitution of liberalism. Liberalism suffers from an aesthetic vacuum, often filled by consumerism or ironic detachment. And in times of crisis, authoritarian movements exploit this void. Earlier forms of liberalism were not so empty. Democracy and liberalism were often fought for through revolutions, and they had tricolour, the civic ceremonies, neoclassical buildings, and just these revolutionary images grounded in equality and freedom. And fascist aesthetics rely on an unreality of golden ages, natural hierarchies, and spectacle. But liberal aesthetics, I believe, are superior and rest on the hard realities of revolution, struggle, and inclusion. And if liberal democracy is to withstand authoritarian myth-making and aesthetic projects, it must reclaim its own aesthetic, rooted in equality, revolutionary memory, and democratic participation. It was hard to summarize my article on this, but if you want to read it, click the link in my bio, and that will link you to my Substack.